Thank you so much for being a part of the show and being a part of the alumni community as well.
I am grateful. Thank you for taking some time out to visit our man cave. I never knew I was going to be here, so it's just kind of full circle. Graduated from the math department, I have a math degree from UNC-Charlotte class of 06, and decided to become a part of the board, the Black Alumni Chapter board, so I could just kind of get back into the mix, because UNC-Charlotte is doing some things and I want to be a part of it.
Indeed. So we have to start with your degree and background. So you have a math degree. We'll get to how you get from there to where you are now. But tell us a little bit about your time at Charlotte. What led you to choose your major, and then ultimately the direction that you decided to go in for a career.
So I'm from High Point, North Carolina.
Just down the road.
Fantasia and furniture. That's what we're known for. And I just needed to get out. Close to Greensboro, so A&T was always kind of like go to A&T. And just in my mind at that time, I felt like UNC-Charlotte looked more representative of the world. Like, I love black and brown people, but it's like I need to be out in the world and seeing different things. So UNC-Charlotte didn't make me write an essay. And that was it. My grades and everything that I was doing in high school, I've always been a good student, so my grades alone at that time got me in. Never went to visit the school, just on my, at the time,
sight unseen.
Yes, internet was really kind of early 2000. We had we didn't have Apples, but you know, Macs and things, so it was enough for me to be able to get enough information. They had a math degree, had good math teachers in high school, so I was like, bet, I don't know what I want to do, but I know everybody hates math. If I like math, I can fit my way into something.
Excellent. So how did you get to that point where you knew, I know I want to study math, I like math, I want to do that?
Love numbers. I always have had good math teachers. People always say that's usually the difference between them excelling in math or not, just having good math teachers. And my dad, low-key, he used to play baseball tickets.
Okay.
So he was a wizard with numbers. Like, I just saw how he would be, he always remembered our birthdays, just a wizard with numbers. And even just looking at my family, I have 3 math teachers in my family, a principal, so numbers is in our DNA. So that kind of led me into going that direction.
Very cool. So now when you were at Charlotte, what were some things that you got involved in and did that really shaped and formed your experience there? And obviously it made a lifelong connection for you as you're part of so many of our alumni councils.
Utah really connected me from allowing me to be able to leave. Like, as soon as I got out of high school, like 2 to 3 weeks later, I was going to school at UNC-Charlotte. That really got me into, like, to this day, my best friend. I met her in Utah. We were roommates.
That's awesome.
Just that program really kind of got me into understanding, it's different now. This isn't high school anymore, but I still got a sense of community. I love the campus. Like I said, I'm from High Point, so Greensboro. So Charlotte wasn't far away, but far enough for me to have some independence.
Right.
And it was a good look from there.
Right. No, absolutely. I think you're right. And that's the experience for so many of our students, because we are a leader in the region, and some of our students are from here. They want to stay here. So what made you decide, I want to make Charlotte my home and be a part of the Charlotte community even beyond being a student here after you graduated?
Charlotte was a cool city, and like at the time, it still gave me the independence that I needed. It was a thriving city. I was able to get a really good job, and it was constantly getting great employment. And I was just really pleased with myself. I bought my first condo here, so I started kind of setting my roots. And
so let's talk about those first jobs out of college. So obviously you didn't start your own business immediately. So what led you down the road that you did, and then what ultimately led you to say, you know what, it's time for Sheena to hang out my own shingle, do my own thing?
I interned. Internships are super important. So I interned with Hershey's. I interned with Anheuser-Busch. and ended up being able to stay on with Anheuser-Busch. And just doing a lot of numbers. Like most people were afraid of their numbers, and I knew how to tell a story, a company story based off of those numbers.
So you were in data analytics before we called it that. So
yes, that was my search word when I was looking for jobs.
Wise choice.
And analytics, analysis, stats, and things like that.
I bet your fantasy teams are killer.
I think I would do very well in fantasy. We get a lot of guys that are involved with fantasy football, and I feel like I would do very well.
You're a numbers person. I'm surprised you haven't done
Yes.
any of this. So you were working in the space with Anheuser-Busch, but then what made you decide? You know what? I want to have my own business. I want to do several things, and we should say you own several businesses. So we'll get into all of those.
So the recession. There was a recession in 2008, I believe. I got caught in with the rule first in, first out or something. I remember that being a word in the accounting class.
Yep.
And that is what happened to me. And so in the mix of like chaos, because I was very used to just working and always having good jobs. So that was my first experience of what a recession looked like. Yeah. In the mix of that, I had a really good friend that was like, you should always have a trade and never stop learning. Sure. And so I went and got a nail technician's license because me personally, I enjoy getting manicures and pedicures. And I just believed that, it was a good, but I knew that there was an untapped market for men. So that kind of started me on my journey. Going back to my father, he was diabetic. So I've partnered with his podiatrist and understood how diabetes and that affects your foot care. And so just seeing the climate, like nobody's really catering to the guys. So those are the things that kind of triggered me to start AlphaMale Nail Care.
Awesome. So, and now tell us a little bit about AlphaMale Nail Care, all the things that you do here and the kind of folks you see in and out of the door every day and things that you learn as a small business owner in the area.
AlphaMale Nail Care started in 2013 based on the premises that it was a solution to the lack of nail salons that really kind of cater to men. My why with that, my dad, and just seeing, it's a huge community that's not being served. So that kind of started. So we have like a man cave atmosphere. We partner with barbershops to keep that same synergy that men have when it comes to barbershops. Because there's a mindset when it comes to nail salons. Yes. So we kind of just reprogram that mindset by making the space look like a man cave, and we provide manicures, pedicures, and we partner with other grooming services like the barbershop and massage therapists, just to introduce self-care to more men.
I think it's important that you're talking about that from the aspect of self-care, and it's not just beauty product or even the vanity part of it, because you're right. Nail care is part of good health care and things too, but there's also something very specific, and I can say this as a runner who has to constantly take care of my feet, that's part of the mental self-care of it too. And I think one thing that people don't pay enough attention to with your barbershops or nail salons and things like that is how much of a social aspect and almost like a counseling aspect there is to it.
Oh my God, I need a counseling degree. We've gotten counseling hours because it is an opportunity, not only on the outside we provide manicures and pedicures, but internally we know that it's mental when people come and can sit in comfortable chairs, can have a drink, or can watch sport, have like that 1 hour to kind of recharge. And we get a lot of connections here. The networking aspect is huge here. So it's a big deal.
You mentioned one of the big things that people always say when I talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs is that you have to find a gap somewhere out there and go and fill it. So obviously you found one and through personal experience and just seeing what was there, but how do you stay fresh in it? Because you've been doing this since 2013, so obviously it lasted, and you lasted through another up and down in the market, the greatest upheaval we've ever known in our lifetime, with the pandemic. How have you been able to thrive and work through all of that as a business owner and a community leader?
just being able to know you're going to have to pivot and understand that change is constant. And it's always about learning. And as you continue to learn, you get fresh ideas, you get fresh eyes, and you say, okay, these are what I'm used to doing. How can I reinvent them? And I look to Chick-fil-A a lot. Like, I love their business model, and I love how they've been able to rebrand themselves, but they stuck with chicken. Like, they just do chicken. And I feel like when you niche it down to just that one, you can evolve it as the culture evolves. So just being aware of what's going on in the culture helps you to kind of, and listening to the people. The people are going to tell you exactly what they want and what they don't want. And then just being able to use that information and continue to move forward.
So as students are listening to this, that may think, you know what, I want to own my own shop, or maybe I'm already doing my own side gig at this point. I meet students that talk about that all the time. What are things that you would tell them to do? Not so much advice, because there's a ton of that out there, but things that they need to know that you wish somebody had told you when you were at school at Charlotte, to give them that bump to, hey, go ahead and put your name out there and start doing what you want to do.
It's all about who you are. It's like business is really like, we just got finished talking about that. It's about self-development. And how you grow and develop is really a reflection of how your business is going to grow and develop. So I would tell people to find you a mentor that's doing what you want and excelling it at that. And ask questions. Please do not be afraid to ask questions, because usually the smartest person in the room is the person that has the courage to say, what is that? And we're all sitting there like, that's the question I had, and I'm so glad she asked it. So be that person all the time, because you already know that you'll be benefiting everybody else. So get you a mentor, never stop learning, and just find something that you can niche down, because it gets confusing and you want to be able to just focus on one thing.
Well, you talk about mentorship, and we've talked about that on Career Bits before too, so I'd love to get your perspective on what it's like to go and seek and find a mentor, and then and maybe some of our other alums who are out there that think like, hey, I think I'm at a point where I want to be a mentor to somebody. How do you start doing that? There's no degree for that.
There's no degree for any of this, but you just got to put yourself out there. We have a personal assistant right here in our cell phone. Social media, like, we're always talking to each other. Like, when they say it goes down in the DMs, a simple question and just asking and just figuring out, using social media, hashtags, taking advantage of networking, and just putting yourself out there. Like, that was a big reason why I wanted to join the board, because I knew it was going to put me out there in front of a lot of people. And yes, the agenda is definitely about the students, but I know eventually somebody's going to ask me about, what do you do? And then you just start, once you start putting yourself out there, I feel like you'll start attracting those opportunities. But being intentional, you just don't want to go to any and everything, but knowing, like I said, when I go, I know I cater to men, so I know these are my target audience. So when I go into these places, I'm very strategic about, okay, I want to go to cigar lounges because I know our target audience likes to go there. So, those are things that I would tell. Put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point there too about the key of what good networking is. It's not just who you know, but it's being intentional about building a relationship with people and communicating with them about what you want. And obviously you're doing well with that, and I think that's a unique aspect of your business, is that you partner with other existing businesses because it makes sense to do so. But what's that conversation like from you and other business owners to say, like, let me come and be a part of your organization, your shop here, to be able to offer something above what you've already got?
It's all about collaborations, and when you partner, you want to go into the situation like, what is it that you want? If I can help your business grow, it's going to help my business grow. So that's how I go into these partnerships. Like, what is it that you want from your business? What goals and aspects? And it also helps me vet, do I want to partner with you? Like, if you don't have any goals and don't know where you're going, then we can't, we're not going to be able to work together. So if I can find out what that business owner is in need of, and if we can collaborate based off of the tools that I have, then that's the way I feel like you grow. That's another thing I would tell students: get you a team, like, immediately. Like, start finding like-minded people that you can at least bounce your ideas, and you understand that they know we're coming from the same industry or something. So building a team is important too.
Yeah, nobody's their own self-contained vacuum.
Yes,
You have to have other people. I talk about all the time. My team is incredible because they fill in the gaps that I don't.
Absolutely.
And I do that intentionally to have them there because they look at something that I want. So I think that's so great. As someone who's involved in our alumni councils and things like that, what are things that you see as great growth points for Charlotte in the future that you're excited that you think, hey, I'm going to be a part of this movement of alums who are going to get Charlotte to that next level? Because we've grown by such leaps and bounds that it's amazing, even since your time there, but there's so much more potential too.
What's interesting to me now is entrepreneurship, because I'm new to this. Like, I've been in the game 10 years, but still, I started from that corporate background and things. So, entrepreneurship is important for me and I know that's very much a presence on campus. What else is interesting to me? Just like, the city of Charlotte is growing, and from some of the meetings that we have, like UNC-Charlotte wants to be the crown jewel of education on this campus, or not outside of the campus. So getting involved with the city more, like I said, putting myself out there, and also just the agenda, like, STEM. I'm very much a part of the math, so the STEM society and things of that sort, and just black and brown individuals, just because their presence is definitely there. And I know what it was like when I was there. If I didn't have Utah, it would have been probably different. I wouldn't have my best friend,
Right, yeah.
So just really kind of pushing them forward, giving them the tools that they need to be successful collegiately as well as in life.
You make a great point, and you said this in your intro that you thought Charlotte was representative of kind of the whole world that you were going to operate in. So what advice would you give to students to give them the courage, the strength, the gumption to go get outside of their circle a little bit? What's a good way of doing that?
If I was on campus, I would take advantage of everything on campus. I would go to different classes that weren't in my schedule. Like, I would really immerse. There's a lot of resources that I know now as an alumni that were there that I feel would have totally taken me to the next level. Like, I would just immerse myself in different, like, going to the arts, and it's all free because you're a student. So just the sports is really good, basketball, but there's so many other things that you should take advantage of on campus, and just put yourself out, meeting new groups, getting a part of clubs. I didn't become a part of clubs, but then that helps you with your time management. That helps you with building how to sell yourself, how to talk. I would find a marketing class. I would find, because they're not going to tell you no. You could just, I want to sell, I don't know, about class and things, but if you get to know the teacher or whatever, and just, hey, can I just sit in this class? I want to learn about marketing or sales or accounting, and just, you want to be well versed.
Yeah, what I tell students all the time is, like, make a friend in the discipline outside of yours that you need to know something about, and then offer to be their resource too. So I was talking to a group of engineers recently, and I said, you all need to make friends with some marketing students because they will teach you how to sell yourself. I said, moreover, you can teach them how to read data and tell stories with it because they don't get that. That's not what they do. And you can't take a full class like that, but if one of your friends has a professor's got a topic or a guest speaker coming up, you got to know in your back pocket, go ask and say, hey, can I sit on that and listen to that?
Absolutely.
Most of the time, the answer is almost always yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed. And that's the one thing I wish I would have took advantage of. Just being on campus, and then you got the light rail and things to take you, outside of campus as well. So.
That's fantastic. Sheen, thank you again so much for spending time with me today on Career Bits and talking to me and everything. Thank you so much for giving back to the Charlotte community. How can folks follow you, keep up with you, and then learn a little bit more about AlphaMale Nail Care?
You can find us on your favorite platform. We're on at AlphaMale_Nail Care. That's on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We love TikTok, so definitely find us there. And AlphaMale Nail Care, and our hashtag is Are Your Feet Effed Up? So they can find us if you search that, men's pedicure. We're here in the University area, and we also have a location at the Premium Outlet Mall.
All right, fantastic. We'll link all of that in the podcast description below. Sheena, again, thank you so much for being a part of Career Bits and being such a great part of the UNC-Charlotte alumni community.
I appreciate it.
Folks, you can follow the happenings of the Career Center by going to our website, career.charlotte.edu, or following us on social media at CLT Career Center. We'll talk to you again soon. There we go. Yay! Thank you so much. I have to tell you, this is the first time I've ever had this done.
And that was our mini manicure because I couldn't get up
had this done. So this is fabulous.
You had a couple of minutes. I'll start the
I
other
will
hand.
gladly love to do that. Yes. So,
Yes.
But yeah, let me save this. Make sure I don't lose anything. So yeah, you.
Yeah, 'cause that was awesome.
Did you like that? Was that
Thank you.
good?
So.
I'm trying to.
In a previous life, I was a reporter.
Were you?
So,
Yes.
so yeah,
Wow.
so I've done a little bit of everything one time or another for a living. So.
Absolutely. I feel like